From Brunswick, West Creek Lanes in Fort Worth, Texas, it's the 10th of 22 Open Division qualifiers of the Brunswick World Team Challenge. We're almost halfway through now, on our way to Reno for the Grand Championships as we welcome you here to Fort Worth. With Earl Anthony, I'm Dave Armstrong. Earl, let's handicap this strong championship field that we have, starting with McGear's Pro Shop.
Well, McGear's Pro Shop has put together a really outstanding ball club. They're very talented. They've got a lot of experience on the team, but they are a pickup team. Sometimes that can hurt you a little bit. When you talk about talent, you talk about the defending champions. Three-time winners of this particular event. They won the Grand Championship in 1994, and they won the Grand Championship again in 1996. The Ebonite Nitro R's may be the team to beat today. But they're going against a very strong team. Whoever wins that opening match could have their hands full with Acme Pawn Shop. This team is loaded with talent. They have Chris Barnes, bowling anchor. They've got Hall of Famer, a great player in Dave Husted. So look for this to be a great championship match no matter who gets past this first one. We should have a great, great championship.
Acme Pawn Shop has been in the lead throughout. Will they hang on to that lead? We'll have our semifinal match to decide who will face them in just a moment.
For small business owners.
Now you can say goodbye to your bookkeeping hassles forever because the makers of Quicken have invented QuickBooks, the #1 selling accounting software that makes it fast and easy to do the things you don't love doing, like paying bills, writing invoices, figuring out what your customers owe, even tracking inventory and doing payroll. QuickBooks makes it all hassle-free. Call now to get a trial version absolutely free through this special limited-time TV offer.
The Brunswick World Team Challenge is brought to you by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. By Lynn Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Lynn Shoes, the choice of top professionals and amateurs alike. And by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. Welcome back to West Creek Lanes in Fort Worth, Texas. We're all set for our semifinal match. Remember, it's Baker format, which means that Kevin McGear, bowling for McGear's Pro Shop, will bowl in the 1st and 6th frames. And number 27 would signify 2nd and 7th, etc. And it's a 2-game total pin match. Good start for McGear's Pro Shop.
Well, Kevin, he's been around a while. He's made 4 or 5 of these shows in the past, and we can look at this, Dave, as a lot of experience. We don't expect to take these guys to have a lot of time to get acclimated to the lanes. They're very comfortable already. They know how to play the varying lane conditions that they put out here in the World Team Challenge, and they're comfortable in front of the camera. So we can expect some good scores, I think.
Chad Murphy up for Nitro R's. Let's take a look at their lineup, brought to you by Contour Power Grips. More pros choose Contour Power Grips, and you should too. You just saw Chad Murphy. He's followed by Billy, then Lonnie Waliczek, Sean Swanson, and batting cleanup will be Paul Fleming.
These are the defending champions, but at the same time, you have to remember they didn't win it in this bowling center. They won it at Don Carter Lane Southwest, and so this is their first try in this bowling center too. And to show you how good these kids are, we just watched them. These 5 guys have been together for the last 4 or 5 years, and they just continue to get there, and they're still only in their mid-20s.
Jason, a student at Wichita State University. Ooh, a ringing 10 pin. Let's take a look at their lineup, again brought to you by Contour Power Grips. After Jason Duran, it's Rick Miller and Brian Kretzer and Sean Quinn. More pros choose Contour Power Grips, and you should too.
I do.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Cross lane, using the whole lane to make the spare good coverage.
Doesn't do me nearly as much as it does for you, the Power Grips, but it helps, I'll tell you.
I've used them for 25 years now, and they've been a big help for me, I can tell you that.
You're going back out on the senior tour here.
I'm going to go out and try it again, yeah.
All right.
Should be fun. Billy Murphy.
Coming in a little high, and now he's got a split. 4, 6, 10.
Well, he's going to go over and get a spare ball. He's just going to throw this about 80 miles an hour and just try to bounce it out of the pit. Didn't happen, and he's not a very happy man right now.
Nope. An open frame and a 14-pin lead for McGear's Pro Shop. Boy, McGear's made quite a move in the last few rounds. They went 6, 5, 4, and then 3. Last 4 rounds, they went from 6th place into the TV. And it's shots like that by Rick Miller that got him here.
Well, that's a pickup team. You know what's interesting about that team? These guys have never bowled together before as a team. They've combined 2 different teams, along with Duran, who's the kid from Wichita State that you mentioned, the 20-year-old, and that was their 5th guy. So, and guess who put the team together? Chad Murphy.
Yeah.
The team they're bowling against here. Chad put that team together. Said, listen, guys, you guys get together. You got a good chance to bowl well at Fort Worth. And here they are, bowling them with a chance to bowl for the title in this match.
Good shot there by Lonnie Waliczek. Ebonite stays clean. Strike, spare, strike. Now a chance to pull back to within 4. Excuse me, McGear's stays clean. Strike, spare, strike. Ebonite with that open in the second. Chance to open up a 24-pin lead now for McGear's. Whoop.
The ball never had a chance. It looked like he had a little problem with the approach. You can see he's checking his foot there. But he just got that off his hand as quick as he could. He looked like he was afraid he was going to fall down or get hurt. Here's another look at that. Watch him now. He kind of jams his foot there and loses his balance, and it just get off my hand before I get hurt. Tough spare here. It's not a split. It looks easy, but whenever you've got a 2-pin combination with the ball hooking from right to left, it's easy to chop it. He has to be careful.
He goes right at it and converts the spare. So they got the old Dutch 200 going. Now Sean Swanson.
Well, we're kind of pulling for that 240. 240 game, 450 series.
Brought to you by the High Roller Tournament Series. A 240 game would receive a $500 bonus, and any 2-game series of 450 or better gets a $500 bonus. So a chance for you to pick up $1,500 in one single match. Extra.
That's right. Sean Swanson, I like to watch him bowl. He doesn't show any emotion. He rolls the ball, turns around, walks back, picks up the spare ball, shoots the spare, turns around, walks back. It's like he does this in his sleep. You know, it's almost like he's just sleepwalking up there. Turn around and walk back. Ho hum.
Now I gotta wait.
Yeah, I gotta wait to bowl again.
Now Sean Quinn. Sean, who lives in New Paris, Ohio.
It's a pretty good release here. Stays with the ball real well. Gets a lot of rotation on it. Oh, look at this. Got a big break.
Big time break.
Had the bucket momentarily. Broke it all down except for the 4-pin. Shouldn't have any problem with that spare. Seems like they're having some approach problems on the left-hand lane. We watched one of the players stick earlier, and now he's cleaning off his shoe like he's had a little problem there.
And picking up the 4-pin. He got a little smile there because he didn't cover the pin exactly squarely. And now Paul Fleming. Good bowler here.
Outstanding. He's a thinker. This guy. He thinks a lot. He's always into the game, and he pays attention to what's happening with the other players' balls. He makes his adjustments based on how their ball reacts. And this lane, they just can't get it off the middle of the head pin.
Hey, Paul Fleming won the Earl Anthony Bud Light MVP last year. He was the most valuable player on his team.
Well, these
for
guys,
the Grand Championship match.
Those are the guys that perform extremely well when their team needs them to perform well, which is during the championship match, and he had all 4 strikes. Boy, that was a good cover on a tough spare.
Paul Fleming with the spare there, but it's McGear's Pro Shop who leads right now by 16. He had a strike his first time.
It For those of you who may be watching for your first time, a quick run through the format here as Kevin tries to get set. Something bothered him a little bit.
I don't know if a back light went out.
All the teams bowl 6 normal team games of qualifying on Saturday. We cut to the top 10 based on total pinfall. The top 10 go into Baker System match play. They bowl 10 two-game Baker System matches with bonus pins if you win a game and extra bonus pins if you have the highest total for the 2 games. And they carry their pinfall over all the way to the end. And the top 3 teams you see here bowling a 2-game match. The winner survives and goes on to bowl for the championship. And that's what it's all about. And that's what the Baker System's all about. And that's what these guys love to play, the Baker System.
You've had an opportunity to play it a few times yourself. What do you like it?
I can't make the cut. I bowled in 2 of these events now, and I can't get into the top 10 to bowl the Baker System.
I need to get on one of these teams.
Yeah, maybe I can get 4 guys to carry me. What do you think? Take care of an old guy here.
Now Jason Duran, his team up by 16 right now. Chance to go up 26 with the double here.
Another outstanding bowler from Wichita State. These guys they just never seem to run out of them there.
No, they don't.
Reason. They must grow them out there in the middle of cornfields or something. I don't know what it is. Look at this.
Not only there, but in Nebraska as well, huh?
Nebraska as well. Yeah.
How about Jeremy Sonnenfeld? There's Jim Woodruff covering this for the Bowling News.
Jim's been around a long time. Really does a good job with his paper. A lot of good bowling papers across the country. There really are, and they're a necessary thing because they really do help promote the game.
Ebonite badly needs a double here, crossing over to get one. Whatever.
Hey, he doesn't want it over. He may look like, well, you know, I got lucky. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't want it over.
That's like the net cord in tennis. You take it.
You bet.
It hits the net cord and drops over. You apologize to your opponent, but you're inside glad you hit that shot. Rick Miller, he had to strike his last time up. There's Terry McCluskey, a manager here at Brunswick West Creek. We thank her and her staff for all their wonderful support while we were here this weekend. Lead at 26 right now, but a chance to cut it back to 16 if Lonnie Waliczek can answer with a turkey for Ebonite Nitro R's.
Again, you know, what always seems to amaze me is the fact that how young this team is. The youngest player, 24, the oldest, 27, the 5 guys, and they've had so much success. And they're still only averaging about 25 and a half years old.
Well, they're heating up now, aren't they? Second time through, they've adjusted very well, both teams. The 6th, 7th, and 8th frames.
Still an opportunity here for the bonus money. Ryan had an approach problem, and he had another approach problem. Got it off his hand a lot better this time, but he doesn't seem to be able to slide. He's playing so far in the middle of the lane with his line, his attack line on the lane with the bowling ball, that he's sliding over almost in the channel, the left-hand channel. And there isn't a lot of people sliding over there. And if there's not a lot of people sliding, they can get a different reaction in their slide. Like, for example, they might stick a little bit, and that's what he's doing. He's having a little problem over there. There goes the bonus down the tubes anyway, but still an outstanding game going. Possible 228.
And a chance to keep that thing alive for the series, the 450 series.
Now watch where he's sliding, and watch his left foot as he slides. He's sliding right in line with the channel, and there aren't a lot of people sliding over there. And because there aren't, you can get a different reaction for your feet, just like you would on the lane if you're playing in a different spot than everyone else.
Sean Swanson. Ooh.
Really good shot there by Sean. A solid 10, and he's using a ball that doesn't hook a lot, and Sean is capable of getting a lot of revolutions on the ball. It's kind of interesting that a player will take a ball that doesn't hook a lot and then make it hook. And then he'll take a ball that hooks a lot and try to throw it straight. Now you figure that one out for me, will you?
I can't. Easily gets the 10 pin.
Mr. Cool.
Yep.
I think they have to wake him up between shots. He takes little naps back there. You know, he's just nice and relaxed. It's hard to be more relaxed than Sean Swanson.
Sean Quinn now, if he punches out in the 10th, it'd be a 228.
Look at him work his hand into that ball. He's getting his fingers in there. It really feels solid on his hand. He wants those fingers to stay in there a long time after that thumb comes out. Oh, boy. Got all of that one. Really, what the players call, he really got his hand into that one. By that, they mean that when his thumb comes out, his fingers stay in it, and he gets full rotation, and we're going to take a look at that. Watch this at the bottom. The thumb comes out right about there. Now, the fingers are staying in it for another 12 to 14 inches, and that's what creates all that power in that rotation. The longer your fingers stay in after your thumb comes out, the more that you can rotate the ball.
Well, the spare for Quinn. Chance for a 217 first game for McGear's Pro Shop.
This is really an outstanding field also in this championship round. All three teams have loaded with talent, just unbelievable talent. So not a weak spot in the lineup on all of the 15 bowlers. So we can expect all of them to continue to make adjustments, make better and better shots, and get that kind of a result right there.
And there is the 217 finish for McGear's Pro Shop. So great start for them. Now Paul Fleming with 3 strikes. He have his team back in it with a 212 finish and trailing by just 5 going into that second game. Fleming, a member of that 90 University of Nebraska national championship team. Speaking of Nebraska, again, how about that Jeremy Sonnenfeld with a 900 series?
Unbelievable. It just it's hard to imagine being fortunate enough to carry 36. Even if you made 36 great shots, you'd think something would stand up somewhere along the line, but obviously they didn't. And the first sanctioned 900 series.
Have you ever had 2 in a row?
I've had 4 300s in a row, but they were not in sanctioned situations.
4 in a row?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I was keeping score. You know, it makes it a lot easier if you keep score.
I don't think I could get 4 in a row if I just hit the reset button.
I think you'd miss the button, do you?
Occasionally, I think I'd miss the button.
There we go. All right. For the count, and still anybody's match. Only about 15 or 16, 17 pins separating these two outstanding teams.
Well, there's the strike. And the 201 finish, so a 16-pin lead for McGear's Pro Shop as we go into the final game of this semifinal. Well, here we go, game 2 of our semifinal match, heading towards the championship. Acme Pawn waiting in the wings. Ebonite Nitro R's. They trail right now by 16.
Oh boy. Well, only the 2-pin, not too bad a deal there. Everything considered, could have been a lot worse. What makes this team so outstanding? And the answer to that is very simple. It's their versatility. They can do so many different things with a bowling ball. They can play such a wide variety of lines. They very seldom miss spares. They get along very well together. 2 brothers, a cousin, and 2 very close friends on the same team. And when you have that kind of a combination, you're going to be successful. And they have been in the past, as we mentioned. Twice they've won the Grand Championship, 94 and 1996. And they'd love to do it again.
McGear had 2 strikes in the opening game.
It so often happens after they practiced. Now, the lanes are freshly dressed with a fresh oil pattern on the lanes. Then they practice, and after they practice, they've moved the oil around. And what they're doing while they're practicing before we go on the air is they're trying different bowling balls in different angles on the lane. And by so doing, they move the oil around. As they move the oil around, now they're getting a different ball reaction time after time. And they will also make one lane different from the other. And we're bowling here at West Creek on lanes 9 and 10, and to me it looks pretty obvious that lane 10 is hooking more than lane 9. So we could get that kind of a reaction. Now, whoever makes the best adjustments and the fastest, which is team communication, one player talking to the other saying, listen, this is what's happening over here, make your adjustment. And if they do that, that's the team that's going to be successful. And that's one of the things that made Ebonite what they are, their ability to make those kind of adjustments, because they know each other's games so well. Take another look at that last shot. This is high, almost middle of the head pin, but the ball speed keeps the ball from cutting through, and that's why he gets the break and trips the 4. See how high that was on the head pin?
Billy Murphy, a 3-time collegiate All-American at Wichita State, still living in Wichita. His brother Chad.
You could probably take 15 or 20 bowlers that live in the Wichita area and make yourself one outstanding group of players. Well, I'll tell you, a lot of those people that have been coached by Gordy Vatican still live in the area. Just outstanding bowlers, men and women.
I lived in Wichita for
but you can't bowl
half a dozen years. I know that, but
you should have went and
I don't
saw
know.
Gordy.
I didn't learn a thing.
You should have hung around with Gordy Vatican a little bit.
I did hang around with him a little bit.
Yeah, all you did was
bowling tournaments.
You just played golf. That's all you did. I mean, I know you can golf, but I don't know too much about your bowling. Tough spare. 1, 2, 4 here. He wants to get all 3 of them with the ball, and he did. Big cover.
Kind of slipped up near the line again. Well, with players having difficulty planting. Well, a strike here can cut the lead to just 3.
Look at Lonnie. You can see how he gets into it. He closes his eyes, he concentrates, and I'm sure he's talking to himself, saying, this is what I want to do. Get the concentration level where he wants it and get ready to go. He's already made this shot in his mind. In his mind's eye, he's already thrown this ball. He saw what it's going to do. Now he just has to repeat it in live action. It's like an instant replay now.
And in live action, he has 2 strikes in the 2 frames he's bowled so far.
High on the head pin, got a big break there. Oh my. He had the 3, 6, 9, 10, which is a very tough spare. Ends up only with the 3 pin. Really big break. 2 games total pins, and we're running out of frames. Here's another look at that shot. Watch the pin action on the right. You see the pin come all the way across the deck, kick out the 9 into the 10, and then of course into the 6 pin. Leaves only the 3.
And an easy spare, but still a 13-pin lead for McGear's Pro Shop. Now Rick Miller.
Big Rick Miller. But watch how smooth he is to the foul line. Big, strong, left-handed bowler. Gets to the foul line like a ballerina. Big as he is. Good balance at the line. Gets through the ball extremely well. Oh, boy. How's that, huh?
Yeah, 3 strikes and 3 frames for Big Rick Miller.
Yeah, but look at that pin action. That was incredible. The head pin did a lot of damage here.
McGear's Pro Shop still in front. They lead by 13. Game of the second game, Ebonite trailing by 13. Sean Swanson up. 2 spares for him so far.
Oh, here's a good shot. Watch this. There you go. That's what he's looking for. A little earlier break point, the ball rolling up high in the head pin, and that's what he wants. He wants an earlier break point. Doesn't want it that high on the head pin, but that earlier break point gives him a better entry angle into the pocket, and entry angle is what it's all about. If you get the ball to enter at the right angle, it'll strike every time. If you don't, it doesn't matter how good you throw the ball, if it's not entering at the proper angle, it's not going to strike.
Brian Kretzer now trying to double up and increase the lead to 23.
That ball really skated on him in the middle of the lane, and remember, this lane is the one that seems to be hooking more, so he's moved a little deeper and he caught some more. You see what he's doing with his hand? That's what it means. That ball skated on him. It didn't get to the break point that he wanted. It went farther down the lane before it gripped, and then it was too late to get back to the head pin. Not an easy spare. The 2-4-5, he'll throw it hard and straight right at it down the left side. Good cover.
Well, so far, so good for McGear's Pro Shop. They do not have an open frame. Just one open frame in the second frame of the first game by Billy Murphy. That was it.
That's it, yeah. And no one seems to really be able to take command in this match. And here's an opportunity right now for Ebonite to get something going on a strike. A chance to get this match real close.
Back to within 3.
Didn't happen. Only the 5 pin, though. Easy spare. And filling frames is what we continue to talk about, and that's really what the Baker system's all about. Folks, if you want to have some fun, get yourself a league together. Get a bunch of people together you like to bowl with and bowl some Baker system.
Absolutely. There's Dan Kilpatrick, Brunswick South Regional Vice President. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. Just added Texas to his territory.
That's a pretty good sized territory.
Yeah. Sean Quinn.
Watch Sean, how he works his hand into the ball here. He really gets those fingers worked in there. It's just the way he wants it. Gets that thumb set in there. and he doesn't leave anything behind. When he gets to the foul line, he just tries to get all he can on that ball. And again, the right-hand lane, lane 10 here at West Creek Lanes, this seems to be having more back end. Here's a look at him coming to the foul line. He's going to throw this right into your parlor, folks. You see the ball get behind him, that creates the leverage he wants, gets around the side of the ball, rips up the side of it, that tremendous wrist rotation, and you can see by the expression on his face, he got all of that, everything he wanted, but the ball didn't react the way he wanted it to. A little bit too much hook, and now the 3-6-10.
Ooh, thought he chopped it for a second.
Well, he did chop it. He actually missed that spare and made it, and the only reason he made it was he threw it so hard. He made the 6-pin bounce out of the channel and come back and get the 10. Here's a look at it. Now, he's chopped this. He's missed it. But see it come back out of the pit? And he's a happy young man.
Back to Chad.
Going. If he gets something going, the team seems to respond. But that's not what he's looking for. He just can't seem to get the ball into the pocket area, and he's fortunate to get only the 5-pin. Easy spare for Chad. He probably missed a 5-pin back when he was about 4 years old.
You know, they say the 5-pin for most of us that throw just one ball is the strike ball, but these guys now with the 2 balls and throwing the spares differently, the 5-pin, they just go right at it again.
Yeah, if they, you know, to me, I think what they're looking for is to fill the frames. They don't want to take a chance on using that. We would use it as a lineup if we were just bowling a lineup shot. If we were bowling a full game, but and you're only bowling 2 frames in the match, you want to make sure you fill that frame. You don't want to waste it. And there's the first really major error for McGear's Pro Shop. And the guy that did it was the guy that's the sponsor, Kevin McGear.
McGear with 2 strikes in the first game. He had a spare in the first frame in this game, but now an open and opportunity for Ebonite.
Well, it's still on an open. He can slide this over, and well, he had a little problem with the approach, but he almost made it.
He almost made it anyway. He stuck on the approach, but an open frame, and that puts Ebonite in front by 2. Well, Billy Murphy with an impressive spare for Ebonite Nitro R's in the 7th frame, and an open frame for McGear's Pro Shot, their 2nd consecutive open frame, and now a 9-pin lead. Randy Lambert, Brunswick South Regional Service Manager, on hand for this Brunswick World Team Challenge.
Try as they might, they just cannot seem to get that good ball reaction they're looking for. These guys, they pick a spot down the lane, basically, is what they're looking for, a break point. It might be 40, 45, 50 feet down, depending on how much the lanes are hooking and how hard they want to throw it, and what type of equipment they're using, what angle they want to play. All these things come into consideration when they line up, when they stand there and put their feet where they want them on the approach, and then go to the foul line and release the ball. All those things are part of their judgments. What makes the sport what it is. A tough game.
It is a tough game. Now Rick Miller, he's been perfect so far. 3 strikes, 3 frames. His club needs him now. They trail by 8.
Got a little fortunate with the last one. Remember, he was very light. Just got enough of the head pin to get it moving around. Let's see if he makes any kind of a move or just lets that happen again. That's high. Oh, got away there. Only the 4-7. And it's just natural for a player when he comes in light on the pocket or misses the head pin to the left of his target. If you're a left-hander, it's almost natural to get up there and make the next ball go high. And you see it so often. And for the left-hander here, this is a tough spare. He has to cover both pins with the ball. That's what he's going to try to do anyway. Almost got away, didn't it? Calm, cool, and casual looking, but inside his heart's going about 200 beats a minute.
Exactly. Sean Swanson.
Here's a guy they have to wake up between turns. Now, Sean is relaxed and cool and calm. I like his game. I like the way he takes these little tiny steps to get moving. These are just timing steps to get himself in motion. See that? And now 1, 2, 3. Boom. Let it go. And almost always it ends up right there in the pocket.
Could have easily had a strike there. But the head pin sliding past.
You know, that's called the messenger. He had the messenger going out there, but the messenger didn't complete the message. Didn't deliver. Using his spare ball for his strike ball. Very seldom you see that happen. Now this guy's using the same ball for strikes and spares. But like I say, Sean can make anything hook.
Well, we're down to the last couple of frames here. Just a 7-pin advantage for Ebonite Nitro R's. Strike here, and
they have the lead, but
let's take a look at some of the other finishers here. Showplace Lanes out of Austin, Texas, one of 76 teams. Another sellout here in Fort Worth strike zone. They're out of Coral Springs, Florida, from Lake Jackson. Bowl, Texas 1. From San Antonio, Thunderstorm. B&S Bowling Supply out of Wichita. Contour Power Grips finished 9th out of Dallas. And from Memphis, Vickery Plumbing.
All right, an opportunity here for McGarry's to load up the 9th frame and get their anchorman up there on a strike, which could be the difference in the match. So this is a big shot.
Ooh, well, he threw a good shot.
He made a great shot. Considering the ball reaction he's been getting, that was outstanding. And you can see he just can't believe it.
Some high games. Vice Grips came up with an 1160 and an 1138.
Where are they?
Yeah, really.
They're not here.
Brad Davidson rolled a perfect 300. We congratulate him. So a spare in the 9th for McGear's Pro Shop. Now it comes down to the 10th frame.
And as so often happens in the Baker system and the World Team Challenge, the Brunswick World Team Challenge, we come down to the anchormen. Who can make the good shots when they have to? And that's why these guys are bowling 5th. They've been here. They've done it before. Just like that. Isn't that amazing? Now it shows you how good a guy like that is. Here's a guy that he hadn't even come close up till this point. Now he gets up in the 10th frame and they say to him, look, we need you right now. Guess what he does? He throws it just about as good as you can throw it, right over the 4th arrow, and it's just 10 in the pit. This is as good as you can do it, folks. Now how come he can do that when he really has to like that?
Because he has to.
Yeah, well, that's concentration.
It is.
You know, just get up there and say, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. That's all there is to it.
Strike here would pretty much close out McGear's. He would need just 3 pins then to close them out with his 3rd ball. Oh, there it is. So Fleming now needs just 3, and he can close out McGear's Pro Shop and move on into the championship match.
This Ebonite team, they just never let go. They're like a bulldog. Once they get a hold of you, you know, it's just they've got you. They don't let go, and they just stay close, stay close. They struggled. They fought. McGear's had the big lead. They had the 16-pin lead after the first game, but Ebonite Nitro just clung in there, hang on, and here they are. 10th frame, a chance to win it. What happens? They win it.
Yep. When McGear's hits the pillow tonight, Earl, they're going to be thinking about those 2 open frames. There are only 2 open frames of this match in the 6th and 7th.
There's always a turning point, and that obviously was the turning point in the match, but it gave the opportunity for Fleming to get up there and perform. And he performed.
Sean Quinn will put on the finishing touches for McGear's, but it won't be enough no matter what he does. Ebonite Nitro R's, they move on to the championship match. Coming up next, we'll go around the bowling world.
Now it's time to go around the bowling world. Brought to you by the High Roller Tournaments at the Showboat Hotel in Las Vegas. A shot at several national titles awaits sanctioned bowlers who enter the 7th ABC WIBC Mixed Championships. Experience the charm of Louisville, Kentucky as your host city. Executive Lanes provides the bowling venue. The tournament opens on June 20th and runs through July 6th. The deadline for tournament entries is May 1st. For more information about this exciting national competition, please call the National Tournaments Hotline at 800-211-1358. The Brunswick World Team Challenge showcases competitive team bowling in a national spotlight. Across the country, team bowlers are rewriting the bowling encyclopedia. 5 port-siders from Lansing, Michigan recently set the American Bowling Congress record for all-time series featuring an all-lefty lineup. The AC Electric team fired a 36.06 set. That's an average of 7.21 per southpaw. Pins are also flying in Tinley Park, Illinois. The Eden Lanes team recently set the ABC mark for most strikes in a 5-man team game at 53. The 53 out of a possible 60 strike game netted a 1387 team score, good for second best team game in ABC history. The all-time ABC team game is 1410, set by the Golden Harvest No. 4 team back in 1993. The President Riverboat Casino team from Davenport, Iowa, recently tossed a 36-61 team 5-man series. Normally that would be enough to celebrate a league win. The Pro Connection Highland Park Bowl team they faced that night matched the 36-61 series, thereby setting the ABC record for highest tie match in the 5-man format. Anyone for a roll-off? Around the Bowling World has been brought to you by the High Roller Tournaments. Call 800-257-6179 for information on how to enter. The Brunswick World Team Challenge from Brunswick, West Creek Lanes in Fort Worth, Texas returns with our championship match after these messages.
The Brunswick World Team Challenge is brought to you by the Silver Legacy Casino, proud host of the 97 Grand Championships, August 24th through the 28th, with qualifying in the exciting finals at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. With Earl Anthony, Dave Armstrong back at West Creek Lanes in Fort Worth, we're all set for our championship 2-game match featuring Ebonite Nitro R's and Acme Pawn. This ought to be good.
Well, there's a lot of talent. Both teams loaded with talent, and as you know, we've already talked about the fact that Chris Barnes is bowling anchor for Acme Pawn Shop. Dave Husted's on that team, a Hall of Famer. But this is the team. This is a team right here. They're not a group of guys that got together to bowl. These are 5 guys that bowl together all the time, and they bowl as a team. They know each other's games. They know how to make the adjustments based on ball reaction of each other's balls that goes down the lane. So I got to consider them the favorites.
See what they did in match 1. Paul Fleming striking out in the 10th to ice the win. And a spare start for Ebonite Nitro R's. That'll bring up Steve Anderson for Acme Pawn.
Steve, one of 2 left-handers on this team, and they're going to try to get them out of the way early here. Top of the lineup. Oh boy, look at there. Now there's some pin action for
I should say so. So Steve Anderson, who sponsors this team, he's the pawnbroker from Colorado Springs, and he starts with the strike. And that'll bring up Billy Murphy. Murphy, who averages .224 in his league play in Wichita. Boy, a solid shot, and the 6 just wouldn't knock over the 10.
He has a very unique style. He uses a lot of upper body strength, and he short arms the ball. In other words, he doesn't have that big high follow through most of the top players do. Watch this. Watch how short the follow through. The ball's going off his hand right there. He doesn't really whip it through and go all the way to the back like a lot of the other guys do.
And covered the 10. So a spare start for Ebonite Nitro R's. That'll bring up Mark Scroggins.
This is the second left-hander on the team, and then they get into the right-handers, 3 in a row, and all 5 of these guys can all play very well. And they get stronger as they go. Excuse me, Dave.
Scroggins was the '93 PBA Rookie of the Year. Boy, a great start for Acme Pawn as we take a look at their lineup, brought to you by Contour Power Grips. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. We've already seen Anderson and Scroggins. They'll be followed by Gilchrist, Dave Husted, and Chris Barnes. What a lineup.
Chris Barnes, the seems like the perennial member of Team USA.
Lonnie Waliczek with the strike for Ebonite.
Watch this young man here. You see the thumb hole? He's not going to use that, folks. He's just going to put his fingers in and lay the ball in the palm of his hand and watch him cock it up onto his wrist so that he can carry it in the arm swing. Here we go, up on the wrist. That's trouble.
Ooh, lucky to have the 10 tip over. It would have been a really tough spare otherwise.
Yeah, and it's still not an easy one. He has this is a difficult spare, the 3 and the 9, and he wants to get both pins with the ball. And Chris Barnes giving some words of wisdom, I'm sure, and this covering this spare.
Now he uses the thumb, right?
Yeah, he should use the thumb now because he wants to control the ball a little more. He definitely wants this to go where he's looking. And he'll throw it out to the right, hook it back into the spare. Good shot.
Well, a good shot for Gilchrist to keep them clean. And we have a 9-pin lead for Acme Pawn in Game 1. Just underway of this championship match. Are you ready for the challenge? The Brunswick World Team Challenge is searching the globe to find the World Team Match Play Champions. Join bowling legend Earl Anthony on a tour of 28 regional events. Each winner advances to the Grand Championships. The ball is in your hand with the game on the line. Your teammates are counting on you. Check your regional sports network listings for the Brunswick World Team Challenge. Ebonite Nitro R's up, trailing by 9, but a strike here would give them a lead. There it is, the double.
Boy, does he get a lot on it. For here's a guy throwing his spare ball. This is the ball he doesn't hook. And he's still getting plenty on it.
And that'll bring up Dave Husted.
There's that look at Sean. Now here's a look at Husted's ball.
Well, he got him a mix around.
Yeah, this guy here, he's won the U.S. Open 3 times. He's in the PBA Hall of Fame. Dave Husted I'm talking about. His father, it's a bowling family. His father, Champ Husted, up in Oregon, Milwaukee, Oregon, and not too far from where I live up that area. They've been in this game a long time. They own a couple of bowling centers up there near Portland. And Dave has decided to cut his schedule back and spend more time with his family. Still very young, only 36 years old. So.
Now living in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, Oregon, that is.
Yes, Milwaukee, Oregon. You wonder if the folks in Milwaukee, Oregon cheered for the Green Bay Packers.
I didn't see any cheeseheads running around out there.
No, you didn't? Okay.
I know we got a couple of them in the truck out there. Talking about our producer, our illustrious producer, Eddie Bauer.
I think he's still wearing his cheesehead as he's producing this telecast.
Is he? I didn't notice that. I wasn't looking real close, I guess. But
here's Chris Barnes trying to visualize his shot. His team up 2 right now. A chance to go up 12 with another strike here.
See where he's standing, folks, in front of the ball return? That means he's playing way inside. Now he's capable of taking these little tiny steps, get that big arm swing and all that rotation. Ho hum.
And do that.
Ho hum. Yeah.
Wow.
Makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He sure does. So a 12-pin lead now for Acme Pawn. Look at that. 4 strikes and a spare for them, and they lead by just 12. We're on our way. Don't forget that High Score Bonus brought to you by the High Roller Tournament Series. Both these teams are eligible to receive a $500 bonus for each TV Baker game of 240 or better, and a 2-game TV Baker series of 450 or better.
Chad Miller is still lost. He doesn't have any idea what's going on out there, and he's been struggling. Excuse me, Chad Murphy. But he's struggling. He just cannot seem to find a way to get the ball in the pocket area. But he's been lucky. Even though he hasn't hit the pocket, he's left some easy spares, and here he just whizzed the 5-9, and that's disaster. You just can't afford to do that. There really isn't any excuse for a player of this caliber to go up and miss a spare like that.
So a real opportunity now for Steve Anderson and Acme Pawn.
Nobody feels any worse about that missed spare than Chad Murphy, believe me. Now the 2 lefties who really did well starting this match out. Strike. He looked like he slipped a little on that one and did not. Oh, my, what a break.
Thought he didn't get a break, and then he did get one.
Yeah, well, he didn't. He threw a bad shot because he lost his footing at the foul line, and the ball went through the middle of the headpin, and you would expect to leave something disastrous when you do that. But he got away with it, leaving only the 10-pin. Now he's got to concentrate and make the spare. Don't do anything foolish.
He didn't.
See the smile on his face.
He just turned around as soon as he let it go. He knew he had covered the 10. And Acme Pawn now leading by 24. Back now for Ebonite Nitro R's. They trail by 24. Billy Murphy trying to pick up for Chad.
A little more ball speed there, and he stayed behind that ball a little longer, try to get a little more end-over-end roll to keep it on line, and it was a great shot. Just left the 4-pin. Here's another
lifted.
Yeah, a lot of loft here, and you can see the shot. See the ball is going at least 7-8 feet out on the lane in the air. And that's to keep it on line so it doesn't hook early. It doesn't want to grip. If the ball doesn't hook in the air, it's just not going to grip it in the air.
Not even the guys that hook them today, right?
Right. Not even these balls will hook in the air. That's,
Mark Scroggins. Scroggins had to strike his first time up.
Former PBA Rookie of the Year in 1993. This guy is a good player. He can keep it in the pocket area. Gets a lot of heavy roll on the ball. See the end-over-end release here. Look at the rotation, and boom, there they are.
Living in nearby Amarillo now. Boy, Acme Pawn, they have led throughout. They took the lead early in qualifying and just kept it.
It's important to keep this game as simple as you can. In other words, don't put anything into your game, into your physical part of your game that is going to be a problem repeating. Because that's what this game's all about, repeating shots, and that's what these guys do so well.
Repeating again, Lonnie Waliczek for Ebonite. He has 2 strikes in this game. And now Mr. No Thumb, Raleigh Gilchrist.
Mr. No Thumb, there you go. Okay, Mr. No Thumb. You need a lot of strength to bowl like this. This is not something I would expect the people at home to copy.
Gave it more room that time.
Takes a lot of practice to do that.
A double now and a 34-pin lead for Acme Pawn.
Here's another look at it. You can see, now look at the roll right off his hand. In other words, there's very little rotation to the side. He just turns his wrist to the side and lifts straight up the side of the ball. Because his thumb's not in it, he doesn't have to worry about turning it. It's really hard to do that, though. Believe me, it takes a lot of strength. A little more conventional here. Sean Swanson and 10 in the pit. We got us a match.
Swanson with 2 strikes. Both he and Lonnie Waliczek with strikes in the 3rd, 4th, and 8th, 9th frames. So they've helped out their club.
And bonus time here. If Dave can get this one in the 9th, they need the first one in the 10th to get that extra money.
There's that one. Now it's up to Chris Barnes.
Now, if anybody's aware of it, Chris Barnes is aware of it. Here's a guy who's an amateur bowler, but he bowls for a living, so he knows exactly what's going on out there at all times. So he knows if he gets up in the 10th frame and they shoot 240, they're going to make $500.
And then he's on his way to the series as well.
You bet. And right now, this young man is saying, I need a couple strikes in the 10th to keep this match close. We don't want him to get too far away.
This team, I was going to say, could have rolled a 223 if he strikes out, and he threw a great ball. So now Chris Barnes thinking about what he needs to do. Not only looking at the bonus money, but trying to widen the gap as they head to game 2.
Well, if he strikes out in the 10th, they can be 50-plus pins ahead. So that's a substantial margin. But remember, in the Baker system, how fast that can turn around. 1 or 2 mistakes by your team with the lead, and a couple of strikes by your opposition, and then it's almost an even match. And whoa, my! That's 2 opens, both easy spares.
Ooh-wee.
For the Ebonite Nitro team, it's just hard to believe, and
that hurts.
You can see right now that they might be a family, but right now they're all mad at each other.
Yeah. It's a dysfunctional family at best.
There you go. All right, Chris Barnes for the chance for the bonus now. 1 strike for $500.
Looks good. Yes, there's the bonus.
Bonus, and as you mentioned, Dave, another strike for the big 250 start and a chance for that 450 series. Very much possibility.
Boy, and a chance to just take command of this match. If he strikes out, they would have a 67-pin lead.
You know, and most of that is the solid 10-pin in the 10th frame for Paul Fleming, plus the 2 easy spares they missed. That's the big difference. It could have been a possible 230 game for them instead of 190. Chris
Barnes just nailing the pocket.
Well, as you mentioned, this team led right from the beginning. They just kept on building that and building it, and they ran away from the field. And the Ebonite Nitro R team sitting on the bench wondering, boy, we hit a buzzsaw this time, guys. But it's not over. Another game to play. This can turn around. 190 by them, 250 by my team, the Nitro R's, if I'm sitting on that team, and it's an even match. It can happen.
They got to be thinking, well, the conditions must be a lot better over on the other side. A 256 finish and a 66-pin lead for Acme Pawn as we go into our championship game. One game remaining. Who will be the champion? Will it be Acme Pawn or can Ebonite climb back into this match, trailing now by 66? What a start for Acme Pawn at 256. And again, sponsored by High Roller Tournament Series, a $500 bonus for rolling a 240 or better in 256. And now they're well on their way to that $500 more with a series of 450 or better. Steve Anderson.
Take a little break for commercial, come back and change lanes, and all of a sudden you get a different ball reaction. And Steve's going to have to make an adjustment. Remember, they have 2 left-handers on this team bowling back-to-back. So you can count on the fact that the guy bowling second here, Mark Scroggins, is watching very closely the ball reaction of Steve Anderson.
Well, here we go.
Here we go. Now that right there could be a 21-pin turnaround. If this team starts with a double, it's a 21-pin turnaround.
That's what they're thinking right now. Look, we've got to string a few together here.
And this is the guy that's got to start. Now Chad he's been struggling. He just can't get a ball reaction, but only the 9-pin. He's pretty fortunate to. He's throwing a lot of balls in that vicinity of the head pin, crossing over, and he just cannot get the ball in the pocket area.
Confused would be the way to describe him right now.
And remember, he missed the 5-9 last time up. I don't expect him to make that kind of a mistake again. Giving himself a little hand there for picking up the spare. A little sarcasm.
Now Mark Scroggins.
All right, now this is going to be interesting. Now Mark, he's sitting there, he's watching Anderson's ball go down, go through the middle of the head pin on the left lane. And Mark's got to be thinking, this is hooking more. This lane has to be hooking more, and he probably even talked to Steve Anderson. So let's see if his ball comes back high or if he gives it a lot of room. What's going to happen here? Gave it a little room, but it didn't hit for him. That's kind of what they call the weak 7. The left-hander gets his spare ball. He'll stand well to the right near the ball return. His target will be somewhere around the middle of the lane, the 4th arrow, and he'll throw it pretty firm, and he won't try to hook this at all. He'll throw it hard and straight.
Just like that. So a spare for Acme Pawn. They lead by 55.
Here's a look again at Steve Anderson, the leadoff bowler, the left-hander. He's playing right between the 2nd and 3rd arrow, kind of straight down. Here's Scroggins now, the 2nd bowler, playing basically the same line, but with more end-over-end roll and possibly a little more ball speed and loft.
Billy Murphy, his brother crossing over, but he gets the pin action.
That's 2 of those he's carried today, and he both times came back with, hey, it wasn't my fault. It just happened. I'll take it.
It's a strike, but you don't see the enthusiasm by his teammates.
Well, they're down still a whole bunch of pins right now, and of course that could be the starter that they're looking for. If Acme Pawn doesn't get something going, you can't rest on your laurels in the Baker system. You have to continue to attack. That's how you do it, just like that. Be aggressive, go out and attack the lanes. Just because you've got a 60-pin lead, it's a long ways from over, especially against a team like the Ebonite Nitros. These guys can bowl. And I keep saying how young they are, but how talented they are, and been very successful. 3 years in a row they won here in Fort Worth. Of course, it was at a different bowling center. It doesn't matter. They're very comfortable here in Texas. They like to bowl here, and twice they've won the Grand Championship. Oh my, that's gone.
That came off his foot, didn't it? I think it hit his foot when he let it down.
I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't see it, Dave, but you're probably right, and he's a very happy young man, right? Here's a look at it. Let's watch the bottom of the swing. You see the left foot. Watch the left foot.
No, it didn't. He just lost it.
He just lost it to the right. And you can see him sliding and slipping there. And now that didn't hit his foot. Ball just went out to the right, got to the out of bounds area, which generally is right around the 7-8 board, and just fell off into the channel. Thing is, they haven't lost anything. The team was on a strike. If he can spare it up, they really haven't lost anything. And he
does. So working on a strike, that doesn't hurt his team. I mean, we'd love to have had the double, but instead with the mark there, it doesn't hurt the team.
Could have been disaster had he not gotten that conversion there.
Dave Husted. Oh, he said as soon as he let it go.
It's one of the best arm swings in the game right here. Classic stylist, good free, loose arm swing, lets the ball do all the work for him, going back and then coming back through. Doesn't use any muscle at all until the bottom of the swing when it's time to take over, take control of the shot, and create the rotation you want. See that big high loose swing, and then right at the bottom he grabs it and lets it go.
Well done for Dave. A spare in the fourth.
You see him talking to Chris Barnes. He's telling him, this is what I did. I thought I made a pretty good shot maybe, and the ball did this. So Chris Barnes will use that information and make an adjustment because they play the lanes fairly similarly, those two bowlers.
They're still in confab over there.
Oh, no. Now, Sean never gave that ball a chance. He moved in deeper on the lane, and the ball just really never had an opportunity. Never got to the right side of the head pin. Tough spare here. The 5-10 for a bowler that likes to hook the ball. This is a tough shot. You see how he plays it, whether he throws it hard and straight or if he plays his strike ball and just lets it hook away from the 5-pin and slide it into the 10. Hard and straight. Not this time.
Well, they're open for Ebonite, and they're running out of room. They're down 69 now. Acme Pond starting to feel it a little bit. Here's Chris Barnes.
Be interesting to see how Chris plays this now. Remember Dave Husted, who bowled just in front of him. His ball went high on the head pin, and Dave acted like he thought he'd made a decent shot. And now he's watching very intently how Chris's feet are lining up. He's watching him get set at the approach. See if Chris really opens the lane or gives it lots of room here.
Oh, he's been near perfect. He's had 5 opportunities now, Earl. He's had 4 strikes and a 9.
And you can see he and Dave Husted again talking to each other, Dave nodding his head, and that's the communication you need to be successful in a team event. You have to talk to each other. You have to help each other. No guessing.
Chris brings that experience over from Baker Format from Team USA.
Paul Fleming, they need him to get something going. If Ebonite's going to have any chance at all, they can't waste any more. And it's another tough shot, and only the 5-pin got away with something there. Paul kind of laughing, and I think he's laughing at the reaction of the ball. He felt he made a decent shot, and the ball just didn't hook back. Other players on his team playing pretty much the same area of the lane, and the ball hooks hard. So they're getting kind of an unusual reaction there, and they can't seem to make the adjustment and get the ball in the pocket area.
Well, it's spare for Ebonite Nitro R's, but they need to string a bunch together right now as they trail Acme Pond by 69 in this championship game. All smiles for Acme Pond as they lead with just 5. Other qualifying averages, you see Acme Pond with a 204 regular average, a 208 Baker average. Boy, that's incredible. Ebonite with a 202, 203, somewhere in that neighborhood throughout. McGears, who finished 3rd in this championship, they were a 196 average. And you see Ebonite, boy, outstanding in match play format with an 8-2 record. Acme Pond, despite that 208 Baker system average, they averaged just 6-4 in match play, but stayed first throughout. Now we go last time through now. Steve Anderson bowling in the 6th frame. Will he get the action? Nope.
And you can see Chris Barnes come up off the bench there. Even though they've got this big lead you just mentioned, Dave, they're still working hard and trying to make sure that they don't give anything away here.
Oh, we're looking at some bonus money, too.
That's right, the 450 series.
That's exactly right.
And
we need a 194 in this game.
Our supreme statistician, Peter Hagan, is the one that's telling us that 194 would be enough for them to collect that extra $500.
Well, in the sweeper results, Ronnie Landry had a big payoff. along with Brad Hunter and Chris Barnes.
Well, we're down in the Dallas area. You think he's related to Tom Landry in any way whatsoever? What do you think?
Maybe. Look at that. So he's going, hey. What do you know? I'm locked in now, and I'm all done.
He's all done, yeah. That's the last time that Chad can help his team, but you never know in this game. Remember, even though there's a bunch of pins up there, a turnaround is possible. Till 236 possible for Ebonite, possible 426 total. A few opens by Acme Pond, and we got us a match. You never know. Gonna like that one. Gonna like that one. He had a lot of roll on that one. Made really a good shot. Got it well out in front of him. I like his game. He's got a good arm swing, and you can see how loose and relaxed they are. Well, with a 70-pin lead, I'd be kind of loose and relaxed too.
Yeah, really. 3 strikes out of 4 for Scroggins. Now Billy Murphy.
Tried to play the same line that his brother played, Chad, in the previous shot, and just threw it right through the break point. It's tremendous ball speed. The ball just never gripped the lane. The 2-4-5, and this will get there in a hurry.
It did. And bring up Raleigh Gilchrist.
You can see by the attitude of the Ebonite Nitro R team that they feel the match is over, and they're just going to go through the motions the rest of the way pretty much, and this team here is going to be the winner, it looks like to me. David, what do you think?
I think so. You're really going out on a limb there, Earl, but
well, I don't want to take any
prediction.
chances, you know.
I think the only thing in doubt is bonus money, a double somewhere, and they still are on target for the bonus money. And they have Dave Husted and Chris Barnes going in the 9th and 10th.
And they definitely need this spare. They don't want to give away the opportunity here.
And they got it. Just one open frame for Acme Pond. It came in the first frame in this game. And that was a split. The 2-7. Steve Anderson in the first frame of this game, but that's been it. The only blip on the screen. This guy's been solid. Lonnie Waliczek with another strike.
He's a good player. All these guys, as I mentioned, are very talented, and like I say, they're relaxed now. They know it's over. A lot of smiles on the bench, and they're just saying, well, next time around, boys, we'll be back.
Houston made a great adjustment.
Well, he was a guinea pig, you might say, for Chris Barnes. Got up, made a shot, the ball went high. He told Chris what happened. Chris made the great shot, got the strike. Now David gets back up there after watching Chris. He gets the strike. Now the first hit in the 10th by Chris Barnes, and they make another $500.
That's what makes these guys so good, though. They see the adjustment. Look at the number now. They see the adjustment, they can make the adjustment, they can make the shot and throw it exactly where they want to.
Most of the time. Really what it comes down to, the crucial thing is the break point, and that is determined by how hard you throw the ball speed, and of course by the rotation that you put on the ball with your wrist and your fingers. And those are the two key things that determine where the ball will start its hook point and enter the pocket area, which again, as I mentioned before, determines whether you're going to strike or not. The ball speed is king. You have to be able to control your ball speed and repeat it. And this strike for $500.
Nope.
And you can see by Chris's expression that he knew that it was a $500 shot, and he's pretty disappointed, but they are the winners.
Acme Pond will win. Steve Anderson said, it's okay, it's all right. Yeah, but I wanted that extra $100 per man.
We'll take it out of your share of the prize fund, Chris. No problem. Now watch Kiss. He's going to try to show off here. He's going to try to pick this up.
Well, it's enough, though. A 175 finish in this game and a 431 total. Ebonite's going to look at that 175 score and go, oh, man.
For some reason, I just don't feel it would have been 175 if they needed more. I just feel that Chris was kind of relaxed there, and Paul Fleming, of course, getting up there saying, hey, see how easy it is when it doesn't matter?
And a 66-pin lead coming into this game for Acme Pawn. So they really, in effect, won this match in the first game when they rolled that 256.
Well, you don't see very many 256 games in the Baker system, and especially in front of the television cameras.
Well, Paul Fleming putting on the finishing touches here, but Acme Pawn, they're our winners in Fort Worth. They're looking up at that scoreboard and saying, yeah, we had that open in the 4th. We had that open in the 10th frame in the first game. That cost us quite a bit of pin count. And that's it. So Acme Pawn, they were just too tough. That 256, that's awfully tough for any team to overcome. And Chris Barnes, Dave Husted, Steve Anderson, Mark Scroggins, and Raleigh Gilchrist. They are deserved champions. They bowled well this entire weekend here in Fort Worth. Coming up here on the Brunswick World Team Challenge Tour will be in Indianapolis, February 22nd and 23rd at Woodland Bowl, and in New Frontier Lands in Tacoma, Earl's old stomping grounds. Those events are sold out, by the way. Also coming up in March in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, at Bradley Bowl, March 22nd and 23rd. Astro Lanes in Detroit, they have some openings in the Motor City, April 5th and 6th. Cedarvale Lanes in Eagan, Minnesota. In Norcross, Georgia, Brunswick Peachtree Lanes will host May 10th and 11th. There are some openings in Georgia for the Brunswick Peachtree. In Minnesota there are openings, not in Georgia. They're already sold out there. We'll be in Dublin, California at Dublin Bowl, May 17th and 18th. At Hawthorne, a few openings there at Vernon Hills, Illinois, May 24th and 25th. If you would like to enter a team to the Brunswick World Team Challenge, call our hotline 414-423-3387. 414-423-3387. Once again, the final score, Acme Pawn with that impressive 256 in Game 1 and then a 175 in Game 2, a 431 total. They win 431 to 376. We'll crown Chris Barnes and the Acme Pawn team in just a moment. The Brunswick World Team Challenge is brought to you by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. By Keepsake, designer and manufacturer of Championship Ring Awards. By Bud Light, proud sponsors of bowling. Make it a Bud Light. And by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. Acme Pawn Shop out of Colorado Springs. They win going away here in our championship match. Chris Barnes, a Team USA member. Chris, boy, you had a little bit of pressure on you in the second game. You were looking for more bonus money, weren't you?
Yeah, we had a chance. If I got the first one, the 10th, we could have got an extra 100, I believe, and cut it off a little short.
That's all right. It still feels good to be champion.
Yeah, I got a lot of horses here, so.
Yeah, you were a pretty big horse that they rode as well. Dan Kilpatrick is here from Brunswick. Dan?
Yes, I'd like to present Acme this championship trophy from Brunswick and Lynn. Congratulations on your win.
Thanks. We'd like to thank all the sponsors of the World Team Challenge and our sponsor, Acme Pawn Shop, I guess, for putting us in the tournament. And it was great getting to bowl with these guys and the Hall of Famer down there.
Yeah, speaking of that Hall of Famer, Earl, another Hall of Famer himself is with Dave Husted.
Well, this is an outstanding player. You mentioned a Hall of Famer, Dave Husted. You've been very successful on television. You've won the U.S. Open 3 times, and as I mentioned, you've got a great career record on television. What's it like bowling in this situation with the World Team Challenge with 5 guys instead of just by yourself?
It's a lot less stressful, that's for sure. You know, you got the team to hold you up. I happened to bowl decent, make a few good shots, the 4 shots I had today, but these guys held us up. And there's another superstar at the end down there.
Well, you guys are patting each other on the back, and your outstanding team as a unit. You bowled extremely well for never bowling together before. I think that was great, Chris. Congratulations to all of you.
Yeah, congratulations certainly are in store. A team that led throughout this weekend here in Fort Worth. They were absolutely tremendous from the get-go all the way through this championship match, and that 256 in Game 1 put it away here today. So once again, our congratulations to Acme Pawn Shop out of Colorado Springs. We thank you all for joining us, and once again, Acme Pawn Shop with the victory. The next Brunswick World Team Challenge telecast is a women's division event from Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis, Indiana. Check your regional sports network listings for dates and times. For Earl Anthony, this is Dave Armstrong saying so long from Brunswick West Creek Lanes in Fort Worth, Texas. This has been an ABC Eagle Productions telecast.